Let me ask you something. When you hear the title, The Art of War, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's probably, epic battles, clashing armies, and just pure overwhelming force. But what if I told you the real genius behind this 2,500-year-old classic is, well, the complete opposite of all that?
And boom, there it is, right there. That single quote from Sun Tzu is the real heart of his entire philosophy, and it's so counterintuitive, isn't it? He's basically saying the best, most masterful victory is the one you win without ever even having to fight. So, how on earth is that even possible? Well, let's dive in and find out.
Okay, so let's get right to the core of this. First things first, you gotta forget the idea that this book is some kind of manual for aggression. It's not. Think of it more as a guide to winning so intelligently, so strategically, that you avoid the enormous cost of a direct fight. We're talking resources, time, and, of course, lives. Now hold on, this doesn't mean being passive or just letting things happen. Not at all. It's about being so prepared, so insightful, and setting yourself up so perfectly that your opponent just looks at the situation and goes, yeah, fighting them would be a terrible idea. It's all about outthinking them, not just outmuscling them. So the big question is, how do you actually do that? It all boils down to one single thing: deep analytical knowledge. Sun Tzu was absolutely obsessed with preparation. He believed you should know the outcome of a potential conflict before it even begins. So he came up with these 5 fundamental factors. You can kind of think of it as his ultimate strategic checklist. The way is your mission, the thing that unites everyone. Heaven and earth are all about your environment: the timing, the weather, the physical ground you're on. And then the commander and method are your own internal strengths, your leadership and your organization. And here's Sun Tzu's radical idea. If you analyze these 5 things for both yourself and your opponent, the winner is basically decided before a single move is made. And this quote, man, it just nails it. Real power isn't just having the bigger army or more resources. It's about having superior knowledge and judgment, knowing when to engage and, this is the crucial part, when not to. That's the ultimate advantage. Preparation is, quite literally, everything.
Okay, so once you've done your homework and you have all that deep knowledge, you get to unleash your most powerful weapon: deception. And we're not just talking about lying. This is about strategically shaping how your opponent sees reality, all to your advantage.
This right here is the core of Sun Tzu's psychological game. It's brilliant. If you're strong, you project weakness. Why? To make your opponent cocky, arrogant, careless. If you're about to make a huge move, you look completely still, totally inactive. The goal is to control the narrative, to make your opponent act based on a false reality that you've built just for them.
And it keeps going. You can offer some tempting little prize, some bait, to lure them right into a trap. You could even pretend your own forces are in total chaos, inviting them to attack, only to snap back into perfect formation and crush them. It's all about getting them to do exactly what you want them to do by messing with what they think they see. This brings us beautifully to the next big idea: adaptability. For Sun Tzu, a rigid plan, one that couldn't change, was a fragile plan. It was just waiting to be broken. The true master of strategy? They're formless, unpredictable, totally fluid. He uses this incredible metaphor of water, and it's just so powerful. Think about it. Water has no single shape. It flows around things. It seeps into tiny cracks. It perfectly fills any container you put it in. Your strategy, he says, should be exactly like that. It's not some rigid blueprint. It's a responsive force that adapts to the situation in real time. So what does it actually mean to be like water? Well, for starters, you don't waste your energy trying to smash through your opponent's strongest points. That's just dumb. Instead, you flow around them. You find their vulnerabilities, their weaknesses, and you apply pressure right there. Your plan is always changing, always reacting to what the enemy is doing and what the environment looks like. There's no one master plan. There's only constant, intelligent flow. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. A 2,500-year-old book about ancient warfare? What in the world does this have to do with us today? Well, as it turns out, everything. Let's think about where these exact same principles show up in our own lives, on our own modern battlefields. Think about it. In business, it's about outthinking your competitors, not just throwing more money at the problem. In a negotiation, it's about understanding the other person's position so well that you can guide the conversation to a win before you even start talking.
Even in your own career, it's knowing when to be patient and build your skills versus when to make that bold move for a promotion. Every single challenge is a chance to use strategy, not just brute force.
So, if you take just one thing away from this whole explainer, let it be this. The Art of War isn't really a book about war at all. It's a timeless guide to superior thinking. It teaches us that real power comes from preparation, from knowledge, and from adaptability, and from using all of that to win by making the actual fight completely unnecessary.
And that really just leaves us with a question to think about. Look at your own goals, your own challenges. What is the most important battle in your life right now that you could actually win by choosing not to fight? Where could you win with a smarter, more strategic approach instead of a direct confrontation? Answering that is the true art of war.